There are numerous eerie locales in the United Kingdom. It's impossible to turn a corner without coming upon a medieval bar, a Tudor palace, or an ancient crumbling abbey. And it's not surprising, given that academics believe humans have been in the UK for roughly 850,000 years. But what about the areas where sunlight cannot reach? What about the caves and caverns, buried villages, and abandoned structures deep underground? These mysterious and dark areas are more widespread than you might believe. After all, how many of us know what lies beneath the streets we travel every day? Here we look at 5 truly terrifying underground locations in the United Kingdom. Hellfire Caves. A harmless-looking chapel and mausoleum lies on a sunny hillside in Buckinghamshire, England, surrounded by rolling countryside. What the casual viewer may not realize is that beneath this hill, deep within the soil, there is an ancient network of hand-hewn tunnels and chambers. Sir Francis Dashwood, their designer, is said to have utilized them for very sinister purposes in the 18th century. Dashwood had a lot of money and, allegedly, a lot of spare time. He devised a plan to enlarge the existing network of caves beneath his property and build a secret underground place to hold gatherings of his infamous Hellfire Club. This mysterious members-only organization was accused of engaging in a variety of unchristian vices, including monk-themed sex parties, pagan rituals, and even human sacrifice. We'll never know what they were up to because the club's secretary, Paul Whitehead, burned the papers on his deathbed. Today, you can explore Dashwood's complex building, which includes a great hall and an inner temple, by visiting the Hellfire Caves. Did you know that Benjamin Franklin was friends with Dashwood and visited the caves on several occasions? The mind is blown. Mary King's Close. Edinburgh, Scotland has no shortage of ghost stories. With its magnificently ancient castle, multiplicity of dark, shady lanes, and time-worn cobblestone streets, even on the hottest summer days, any visitor may be forgiven for feeling a shiver. But the true horrors are hidden beneath. The city's old town is famed for being built over a maze of secret tunnels and chambers that were formerly slums and tenements sheltering the impoverished of Edinburgh. The slums were depressing, overcrowded, and hazardous, with crime and disease common. Space was limited, and families shared one-room dwellings where they lived, ate, and slept. Residents attempted to expand by building upward. Some structures were 14 stories tall. The slums were built over and eventually shut off as the city grew and modernized. They were not rediscovered until the 1980s, and several are now open to the public. Mary King's Close is a perfectly maintained 17th century street that has been open to visitors since 2003. The street was named after a widowed cloth merchant with 4 children who was compelled to forge her own path in life. She purchased 2 properties on the Close, a house and a stall, and rose to prominence as a prominent and well-respected dealer. During Mary's tenure on the Close, it was Edinburgh's second largest street, second only to the Royal Mile. Secret wartime tunnels, Dover. A network of man-made tunnels extends deep beneath Dover Castle and out into the White Cliffs. Some of these tunnels date back to medieval times, and they have been created and used in times of war and struggle throughout history. During World War II, the territory around Dover became crucial to the country's defense, particularly when France fell to Nazi invaders in 1940. Old tunnels were renovated, while new tunnels were constructed to house a naval base and army headquarters. It was from here that Operation Dynamo, which evacuated 338,226 Allied troops from Dunkirk, was coordinated. To aid the war effort, officials erected an underground hospital within the White Cliffs in 1941. It was located closer to the surface than the other tunnels for convenience of access, and it was used to treat injured pilots and administer first treatment to Dover air raid casualties. The decision to locate the hospital deep below was brilliant. It meant that the hospital was one of the only areas that was not exposed to bombing or shelling, allowing staff to carry out their jobs without interruption. But it had to be a little cramped. City of Caves. Nottingham, England has a massive network of subterranean tubes underneath its modern surface, earning it the moniker City of Caves. In fact, it has the largest known network of caves in the UK, with over 800 identified so far. Evidence reveals that the caves were physically carved out of sandstone, and that people have been making, living in, and working in them for thousands of years. Archaeologists are still discovering artifacts from past settlements. The caves have been utilized as dwellings, alehouses, brothels, prisons, storehouses, breweries, escape routes, hidden tunnels, and much more throughout history. There was a tannery there in medieval times, and they were used as air raid shelters during World War II. One cave, which runs beneath the former John Player tobacco factory, can accommodate 8,000 people. Many modern pubs and bars in Nottingham have their own caverns where guests can raise a glass to long-dead spirits. It's little surprise that Nottingham was known in ancient Britain as Tigu Kobok, which translates as Place of Caves. Cheddar Caves. Cheddar Gorge in England is the country's deepest gorge, measuring 400 feet, 122 meters. It is around 1 million years old and formed during the last ice age. However, for our purposes, the gorge is noteworthy for its extensive cave network. The Cheddar Caves have been inhabited by people in some form or another for an estimated 40,000 years. In 1903, the oldest skeleton ever uncovered in Britain was discovered there. He is known as the Cheddar Man, and he is said to have died 10,000 years ago. The Cheddar Caves are notable and may be controversial for containing evidence that humans were formerly cannibals. Scientists uncovered 13,000-year-old bones with signs indicating that their owners had been consumed. Yikes.